In a world where every man is told that marriage is the ultimate goal, only a few rare men ever stop and ask the most dangerous question. Does marriage actually make a man's life better or shorter? Machiavelli believed that a man's greatest strength lies in his autonomy, his ability to make decisions without emotional pressure, and his power to control his environment. And when you look deeply, you realize something uncomfortable. Single men often live longer, not because they avoid love, but because they avoid losing themselves. Today on Mindvelli, we unveil the Machiavellian truths behind why staying single can add years, power, and clarity to a man's life. 1. Single men live without emotional drain. One of the most underestimated dangers to a man's health is not physical stress, it is emotional stress. Machiavelli observed that emotional instability destroys a man's strategic mind. In relationships, especially unhealthy ones, a man is constantly solving problems that are not his own. Mood swings, arguments, expectations, emotional labor, proving himself over and over. This constant tension drains a man's energy and weakens his focus. A single man, on the other hand, wakes up with a mind that belongs only to himself. No battles, no emotional storms, just peace. And peace adds years to a man's life. 2. Single men control their environment. Machiavelli said that a prince must control the variables of his kingdom. For a modern man, the kingdom is his home, his time, and his habits. A married man compromises everything: what time he wakes up, what he eats, how he spends his money, who he talks to, how he spends his evenings. Every decision becomes a negotiation. A single man lives by his own law. He controls his routines, his foods, his sleep schedule, his environment. And science agrees, men who maintain routine, freedom, and autonomy age slower and live longer. 3. Single men avoid the silent killer, chronic conflict. Conflict ages the male body faster than cigarettes, and marriage, especially modern marriage, often exposes men to a constant low-grade war, resentment, arguments, unspoken anger, power struggles. A man cannot stay in warrior mode every day. Machiavelli believed that a man should fight only the battles he chooses, not the ones he is dragged into. Single men avoid this constant conflict. Their nervous system stays calmer. Their body stays younger. Their mind stays sharper. Longevity comes from inner stability, not emotional chaos. 4. Single men keep their purpose first. Here is the harsh Machiavellian truth most men learn too late. Marriage often pushes a man into a life of obligation, not ambition. Instead of pursuing greatness, many men end up pursuing bills, chores, family politics, emotional labor, a routine that slowly kills their spark. But single men, they keep their purpose at the center of their universe. They train harder, they work deeper, they build better, they improve constantly. Purpose is fuel. Purpose is longevity. A man dies the day he stops pursuing what makes him powerful, not the day his heart stops beating. 6. Single men stay sexually and socially relevant longer. Here's the reality. Single men do not fade from the market. They stay in it. They stay desirable. They stay physically in shape. They maintain social energy. They continue to attract new experiences and people. Married men often withdraw into routine. They lose their spark, their edge, their confidence. A man who keeps evolving, flirting with life, and exploring new paths stays biologically younger. Seduction is a form of vitality. Adventure is a form of medicine. Freedom is a form of youth. 7. Single men live by Machiavelli's core rule: never become too dependent.
Machiavelli taught that dependence is the root of weakness, and marriage often forces men into deep emotional, financial, and psychological dependence. A man tied to someone else for his happiness loses the ability to navigate life with power. A single man depends only on himself. This independence reduces stress, increases confidence, and strengthens resilience, all key ingredients to longevity. A dependent man deteriorates. An independent man thrives. Final Machiavellian truth. Single men do not live longer because they avoid love. They live longer because they avoid losing themselves. When a man protects his peace, his purpose, and his autonomy, he becomes stronger, healthier, and emotionally untouchable. Marriage can be beautiful for the right men, but for many, it becomes a battlefield that slowly drains their life force. On Mindvelli, remember this: a man's life is extended not by companionship, but by control. Control of his mind, his time, and his destiny.